Hello, movie patient, and welcome to Film Therapy. I am Brienne, also known as Miss Movies, also known as your film therapist. I am not a real therapist, but I play one on the internet just for this show. And as with every show, I always have a guest patient, and today my guest patient is Cody Decker. Come on in. Come take a seat. I don't have a couch. I don't have a chaise lounge, which I think would be great.
She has a nothing says therapy like a picture of the Joker on the
That's right.
background.
In a straitjacket.
Yeah, it's perfect.
He is my muse. This is a picture that I think I've told this story before. If I haven't, I've told it on a segment I do called Miss Movies Minute, where it was a picture that I wanted to leave my home. I wanted it out of my house because I thought it was scaring my children. And so I made it go to the garage, and then I was like, maybe we should just sell this. But it is signed by Mark Hamill. It says pleasant punchlines on it.
Can't get rid of it.
And then once I started the show, I was like, I got to use Joker. Like,
It's perfect.
it's obvious,
It's perfect
right?
and not at all unsettling. Let's do some healing.
That's right. Here's how this show works, and then we'll find out who Cody is. Um, it is a storytelling show where I ask the guest patient three questions. It's the same three questions every time. What is a film that inspires you? What is a film or a scene from a film that triggers a memory for you? Perhaps it's painful or it could be happy. And what is a film that helps you through difficult times? Sometimes we also jump into the chat and talk about your comments or your questions. So if you have them, you can leave them there. I like to call that the waiting room for the patients that are waiting. So Cody, tell us about yourself. Who are you?
My name is Cody Decker. I'm a professional baseball player. I just signed with the Milwaukee Brewers. I've been with the Padres, the Royals, the Rockies, the Red Sox, and now I'm with the Brewers because it's my goal to play for every team, including teams that don't even, not even baseball. I mean, I want to sign with Manchester United,
Sure.
and I want to play for the West Texas Armadillos, which is a fictional team from the movie Necessary Roughness,
Okay, great.
starring Robert Loggia. And
Loja, as I've learned to
we
say.
love Robert Loggia.
Loja. What would be like a team that you really were like, I would like to play for them?
The Milwaukee Brewers.
Of course. Of course. That is your number one team.
Honestly, whoever wants
Okay,
me and
cool.
wants to employ me to play professional baseball, then I want to play for them. And the Milwaukee Brewers want to do that, and I want to play for them. And I have a lot of friends on the team, and
Oh, nice.
it's gonna be a really good fit. And I'm really excited to play for them. And I look really good in navy blue.
Where did you play in college?
I
'Cause you
played at
must.
UCLA.
Oh,
UCLA,
all
fight,
right.
fight, fight.
Bye.
Go Bruins.
I'll see you later.
Oh, you mean
This was
those?
great. It's over.
You mean those 125 championships? No big
Huh.
deal.
For baseball?
No, we have a couple in baseball.
Okay, just in general.
Actually, baseball USC has the most.
Yes, I do know that.
They do have the most.
That's very exciting.
No, they were a very storied program. Not when I played them. I just kept beating them. It
Sure.
it was kind of
I'm
easy
sure.
in throwaway games
I wasn't around
at
then,
the
so it's
time.
okay. It was
That
okay.
doesn't mean they're not good now. They are very good now again, and they've been good for 200
Nice.
years. However
I
old
love
that
it.
school is. Go Bruins.
Well, let's go ahead and get started. But
She's furious with me now.
yes, anyone that is from UCLA and or represents UCLA, I'm like, okay, thanks, bye. But no, not really. I just like to put on that persona, so everyone knows I'm cool with everyone.
I'm not
Don't
cool with
really.
Trojans.
Oh, all right.
I'm like a member of
You
Sparta.
could leave if you want to.
Burn the place down.
All right. So I started the show because I do suffer from depression, and I find that movies help me cope with depression. But I do want to, and I forgot to do this disclaimer for yesterday's show. I do want to let you know that if you are having an emergency right now, please go to your doctor or call 911 or call someone that you would like to talk to because get the help that you need and get it now, please. Um, so yes, because I'm not a real therapist, like I said. Cody's not a therapist.
need
I will
therapy.
take your money, like if you want to send me money for like a PPO sort of thing, but
I mean, you can just send
it's
me
not
money.
really legal.
Like, I'm not going to help you, but I'll take your money.
All right, let's get started.
Daddy's
So-
got to buy a new suit.
Cody, what is a movie that inspires you?
There is a specific reason why I chose this movie, and it's because it's one of my it bounces around.
Mm-hmm.
I have like a top 5 list that is interchangeable every other day.
Okay.
One of them that I'm not going to choose today is The Natural. It's a baseball movie. It's
Yes,
directed by Barry
Robert
Levinson.
Redford.
It's a movie that literally makes me want to play baseball because it just reminds you how magical baseball is. I think it's the only
Right.
movie that successfully does that. But since I desperately want to get away from baseball on these, I'm going to go with The Princess Bride.
Ooh, I do love The Princess Bride.
It's one of those movies that at no time, it doesn't matter what mood I'm in. I could
Hmm.
be irate, I could be in tears, I could be happy. This movie will put me in the best possible mood. Just hearing
Yes.
Inconceivable or just anything Inigo Montoya says, it's just a movie that just makes me, it brings out the best in me. And I can
Hmm.
watch it anytime. And I could sit here for an hour and a half, close my eyes, and just quote the movie to myself and just know it all.
You should do one of those things where they do like Princess Bride in 30 minutes and then you do the whole, you go through, you just basically recite the film for us
That would be awesome.
all in one take.
That would be awesome.
Because I would love that. I would watch that. I love this movie. I recently watched, I was on this show called The Real Rejects, which is a channel on YouTube. You should check it out. You should subscribe. And we did a trailer reaction, but it was to the honest trailer for The Princess Bride. And it was basically they were going through their bet, like the most loved movies that people want to see. And they were basically just praising them. They weren't like ragging on
How
them
can you?
really. And it was just great. And I felt so good after watching it. And there was a part that I just found hilarious. They added some music to the part where Wesley is like getting the pitcher down for Buttercup. And it was just like, perfect. It's like, yep.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's just such a good movie. Every character, everything, every gag. These are such cheap gags too, most of them,
Hmm.
and every single gag just hits.
Yeah.
And there's something about this movie that just hits a certain party. I don't know, just hits a nostalgia bone, which is weird because
Hmm.
it's not. It's there's no specific time or place to this movie, really.
Right.
It's made up locations and a made up fairy tale land. I mean, I think it's perfect.
And so it inspires you to write, to be in a better mood. What does it inspire for
I
you?
It inspires me. It inspires me just to be in a better mood, but it inspires me just like it just makes me treat people better for the next
Mm.
2 hours. For 2 hours, I'm not an asshole.
There's a good window.
Yeah, like you can catch me in like a 2 hour span where like that Cody's a really nice guy, and
We
then the
just got
rest
to
of the
throw it
day
on.
you're just like, what a piece of shit.
You know what's great about I've been to Cody's home before because um I am friends with his wife, or not his wife, his fiance, I should say. Um and the relationship the two of you have is the best.
It's a
It's
rivalry.
the most hilarious thing. Like, the banter between the two of you is something that I wish everyone could witness because it's just so great and loving and
I just
hilarious.
come home like, hey baby, how you doing? Hey sweetie, you look beautiful. Yeah, right. Okay. Sweetie, how do I look? I wouldn't wear that shirt. Okay. How do I look now? Maybe wear a jacket. Like, because it's cold? No, no. I'm like, okay. Can we have sex tonight? No.
Not to the Dark Knight Rises
Not to,
soundtrack.
that was a real conversation we had. She's like, no, I am not listening. I know I'm not listening to Hans Zimmer right now. I'm like, but Junkie XL worked on it too. She's like, no.
Oh man. So yes, one day there'll be some sort of reality show that is maybe we'll call it the Deckers.
She loves me.
Maybe she loves me. We could try. We can call it that.
She's the best. She is literally she is the epitome of my best friend. So it's literally we are incredibly loving to each other. We give each other an outrageous amount of shit. It's
That's what the best thing is though, because you do give each other such shit, but it's all so much love at the same
yeah,
time that it's so great.
like like I'll literally put my arm around her and hold her. I'm like, sweetie. She's like, yeah, I need to poop. She just sits there like you asshole. You ruined that moment. I'm like, did I, or did I make it memorable?
So does she like when the 2 hour window after the Princess Bride has
No, she's like,
concluded?
you're Stepford Cody. Get out of the house. Go interact with other people and come back when you're normal again.
I want to see you after you've worked out.
Yeah,
So go do that.
go lift and be a meathead jerk again. Like, okay.
Let's move into our second question. Our second question is, what is a film or a scene from a film that triggers a memory for you? Perhaps it's painful, perhaps it's happy.
Um, God, there's so many in this movie. One, I love the final shot of the movie, when Peter Falk's leaving uh, the house after reading the kid the story,
Okay,
and
so
it's
also in The Princess Bride. You can
yeah.
do another movie.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know how this works. I thought we were just doing Princess Bride
That's
the
all
whole
right.
time.
That's all right.
So just any movie, like
Any
any movie
movie.
where it's something. Ask the question again. Go.
Okay. What is a film or a scene from a film that triggers a memory for you? Perhaps it is painful. Perhaps it is happy. I tried to drag that out a little bit long so you'd have a moment to think.
I'm thinking.
You could still go back to Princess Bride.
You know,
That could be
no, I'll
fine.
go in a different direction.
Okay.
Yeah, I love movies that are, I love movies that, elicit any emotion, especially a movie that really kind of hits you here because everyone needs a good cry.
They do.
Um, and I know the movie is hokey, um, but it's also fantastic, and it's Forrest Gump.
Hmm. It
And
is fantastic.
there is no scene that, to my knowledge, right away that doesn't make me just immediately go, and that's when he's talking to Jenny's grave. Is he like, you died on a Wednesday? And then he's
Hmm.
talking about little Forrest, how smart he is, and he just breaks him up, and
Hmm.
it's this moment where he's got little Forrest, but he lost Jenny. It's like he lost the most important person in his life, but he gained the most important person in his life.
Right.
It's just there's something about it. Just it was this great circle moment to me. You know, moving her right next to where his mother is buried as well. It's just there was or right underneath the tree that they grew
Hmm.
up on. It was just something about it that just yeah, the movie had so many good full circle moments, and for some reason that scene for some reason always hit me, and I'm not even sure
Yeah.
why.
It doesn't have anything that connects to you on a personal level, or does it?
I just feel like anyone who loses their best friend, like
Hmm.
someone that they really the thing they care about the most, but it's not the end of the world. There's so much more hope still.
Hmm.
I think there's something about that moment that is, I guess it's more of an answer for I mean more of an answer for an inspiring question because it inspires me because no matter what tragedy there's hope, and I just feel hope in that scene. So taking me to a different place, no, I can't think of a movie where like a scene just takes me to a spot in my life. Lucky,
Right. Like when you watch The Hangover, do you think of a time when you went to Vegas with
n-
guys and you're
I'm
like, "Oh, God, I remember that time when we
I'm
were up on the roof?
I'm shockingly boring. Like when I go to Vegas, I don't do anything. Like Jen comes to see me in Vegas now. So like
Uh-huh.
when I play in Vegas, the Vegas 51s, like I don't do shit. Like I literally we go to a nice dinner and then I go back and I do not touch the tables cuz I
Mm.
can't gamble. Although there are a few times where I look at a poker table and I'm like I want to sit there and do my best Teddy KGB from Rounders and
Sure.
just, somebody,
Oh,
no, I do not
Rounders.
have
Rounders is great.
spades. But no, for some reason, God, man, let me really think.
Okay. We'll take a moment.
A movie that really takes me to a different place,
Well, not takes you to a different place,
or
but
takes me to
just
like
like reminds you
reminds
of
me of a part of my
something.
life.
Um,
Can
even
you give me
with,
an example for you?
oh, sure. That triggers a memory for you. Here's one. And you know what? I didn't like if I were to answer these questions, this isn't one that I probably would have said, but because it's coming to my mind right now, I would go with Rachel getting married. That movie as a whole reminds me of my family. Like in that film, I see both of my sisters. One as Rachel and one as the Anne Hathaway character. In that movie, I also see my father, like, is their father. I don't see my mom in that movie, and I don't see myself in that movie. But if you have seen the film, it's about someone that suffers from addiction, and how that plays out with the rest of the family and them trying to get through an event together, and how just that alone is so difficult. like how there's this thing of here is the bride and she comes up with, okay, I want you guys to, we're all going to wear this bridesmaid dress. I picked it out. Here it is. Here, I have your size. And then it's like a day before, and the sister, the Anne Hathaway character, is like, well, I'm not going to wear that. Like, this is, you know what? No, because that's not what I want. It's all about I, and never about everyone else and what is good for someone else. And I feel like that's something that I've grown up with, not necessarily one specific sister. I mean, definitely one specific sister, or but also like all of us have played that role too. Like all of us have been that selfish person at some point or another. But and there's a scene of them actually having a good time, and then it switches so quickly. Like they're doing something. They're trying to Tetris the dishwasher, because that's what you do. You Tetris a dishwasher, and there's a plate that gets pulled out, and that plate like represents a deceased family member, like a third sister, and you know, and all of them just stop, and they can't move past what has just been presented in front of them. And I see that in my family a lot. Like we're here, we're having a great time, and now we're out of that time, and it happens so quickly.
I got one.
Okay.
And it's basically it's one movie and specifically
Mhm.
two scenes, and it's cheating because I'm an athlete, so
That's okay.
I identify with this movie way more than probably more people should,
Hmm.
and it's an obvious choice. It's Rocky.
Yes.
Now, here's the thing about Rocky. There's two scenes in this movie that actually one scene just sets up how powerful the ending is to me,
Hmm.
and that's when he's after he goes to the stadium, the stadium, he sees the boxing ring, sees the picture, and
Yes.
he says, you get my pants wrong. I'm wearing
Right.
I'm wearing black with the yellow stripe," and he just goes, "It doesn't really matter, does it, Rocky?"
Mm.
And then he goes home, and it's like this moment where he feels so little again. Like
Hmm.
he's been training for the last hour, getting pumped up, the audience getting pumped up, and just that one sentence just knocked him back down to feeling like a bum again.
And that sentence came because they actually like messed up in production,
Hmm.
and they didn't know how they were going to fix it, because they were like, well, we have this, we don't have the budget to redo it.
And it was perfect.
It was
And it just
perfect.
added so much more to it. And then he goes home and he sits next to Adrian and he just says, "Who am I kidding? I can't beat this guy." And I think any athlete
Hmm.
who will be honest with you always has that. Every athlete, any athlete who says they're not self-conscious at least a little is a fucking liar. The biggest liar in the world. Best baseball players I have ever met in my life are the most self-conscious people in the world, and that's not a
Hmm.
problem. We all are. Everyone's human. Baseball players are just as human as the next guy. But having that moment where you train for it, you're actually prepared for it, but having that moment where you're still going to second guess yourself right before you go into it.
Hmm.
I can identify with that as much as anybody. I'm prepared for every single at bat, but there might be a time where I see a guy he's throwing 99 with 99 mile per hour with a hard sink, and you just for a second, that one split second, you're just like, can I do this? Just that one moment that Rocky was experiencing right there is something every athlete experiences, no matter what
Hmm.
sport you play, where you'll second guess how good you are, or you'll second guess do you belong, and it's nonsense because you do. It's a stupid game. It's a game that's made for children. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
Hmm.
But that scene always kind of affected me, and it wasn't just that scene. There was another scene in the movie too that doesn't expect never affected me on a sports level. It affected me just on like trying to be a good person level.
Hmm.
And I think anyone who's ever been down and out has felt this before. Um, he takes little Marie outside of the atomic hoagie shop and like gets her away from these kids that he knows are bad, and he's trying to give her advice. He's trying to
Right.
legitimately help her,
Yes.
and And for a moment, Rocky's like, being a cool big brother friend. He's just trying to be a nice guy that Rocky
Yes.
is. And just right when he takes her to the door, you think it's a nice moment. She's going to go inside. Just, hey, Rocky, yeah, screw you, creepo. And he's just like, and there's just like, God, even the kids knock him down a peg. It's just, this guy's getting shit from every possible angle. And, and all he was trying to do was do a nice thing. And it just
Right.
backfires in his face to make him feel like a nobody. And I always thought that was a very effective scene.
Hmm. Gosh, I do like that scene as well. Rocky's such a great film, and it's one that I didn't like see until like a year ago. The
What
whole
is
franchise.
what is with you and seeing
Because
the best movies?
listen, I miss movies, and sometimes I miss movies.
Ah,
It's the
puns.
two things, guys. And but then I have things like this show, and I have things like 6 Degrees of Feature Film, where then I have guests that come on and are like, "I want to talk about Rocky," and I'm like, "We'll do that." And so then I go and I see the movie.
So you kind of use this as a platform to broaden your own horizons. So
Yes.
basically, this show is the most selfish show in the world.
Well, this one, not. I mean, this one not as much, but 6 Degrees of Feature Film, yes,
I
it
love
is.
it.
I mean, it's this is my dojo. This channel
Yeah.
is my dojo. I'm training. You're training with me. One day I'll see
You're
Karate Kid.
you're Morpheus and I'm Neo.
There we go. There we go. So, let's get into our third question,
Of
which
course.
is, what is a film that helps you through difficult times? Meaning, like, it could be a film that makes you happy, if you would like to go that route.
I would. Princess Bride's one of them, but I'm gonna go a
Yes.
different direction. And something that I takes me back to my childhood because I would watch this movie every time I was homesick
Okay. Oh, great.
from school.
The Wizard.
It was not the Wizard. It really. I saw the Wizard a few times, and all I ever remember from that movie is I love my power glove. I'm like,
That
wow,
guy was so great. That
that is
was so great.
shameless marketing. Um, no, I'm going to go with kind of an obvious choice, and it's my favorite John Hughes movie, and that is Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
There's
Gotta
nothing.
love it.
This guy's faking being sick to go take Chicago by storm,
And he
and he
does.
does, and gets away with it. And it's just I was an 11-year-old kid homesick and just watching that movie, just going,
Mhm.
oh, I want to sing, twist, and shout at a parade right now.
I mean, who doesn't? I want to be in the group that's doing the Thriller dance at that
Absolutely,
parade.
everything. Like it's just like, and Matthew Broderick is so like you want to be Matthew Broderick, which is a
Yes.
weird thing to say in 2017.
The amount of things that they do and the time that they do it in, I am like flabbergasted
And he
because I can barely like tie my shoes and then it's time to like, go pick up my kids from
and
school.
he has that line where he even recaps the day. He's like, "Done nothing good. We've seen priceless works of art." Like he went to a
To a
whole
stock
baseball game. That's
market?
half the day. Like they went to a Cubs game,
Maybe they like came in at a few
maybe, and
innings
just left.
and then just like left. They got the ball. They're like, all right, we're out.
What's the score? Nothing. Nothing. Who's
Who's
winning?
winning? The
The the
Bears.
Bears. It's just that man. That movie will just I used when I was a kid, I had a stomach issue, so I missed
Mhm.
like especially in sixth grade specifically. I had a stomach issue where I was in and out of the hospital a lot,
Mm.
and they never couldn't really pin down what was wrong with me. They eventually did, but um, I was at home a lot that year, and all I did was
Yeah.
watch movies. I ended up losing like 50 pounds, and when you're a sixth
Wow.
grader, 50 pounds is a good chunk of weight.
That's
Um,
scary.
yeah, I got really like thin, and so I just watched movies. I watched a ton of movies, and I
At
loved it.
what point did they discover what was going on
Like right,
and
like the summer and going into my seventh grade year,
okay.
and all of a sudden I was like borderline miraculously better.
Wow.
Like the stomach pain started going. They thought it was everything. They thought I had Crohn's disease at some point. They
Mhm.
thought I had appendicitis. They prepared my dad once that I might have cancer. I didn't, luckily.
Wow.
Luckily I had nothing. All that, it was just the
Mhm.
food. I was basically just allergic
To a
to a
lot of
lot of
the
foods,
foods.
and I had to readjust my diet so many times to get better at it, and then eventually kind of build up a tolerance to foods.
Mm.
And
Whoa.
so next thing you know, I was fine. By the time I was seventh grade, that next year I was fine. But all I did was watch movies.
Yeah.
And one movie that was just endlessly on my thing, I'd watch Ferris Bueller once a week.
I love it because Ferris Bueller is great.
So good.
But man, it must have been hard to be your parents and go through that
Yeah, that
and
sucked.
be scared for your
Well,
child.
especially my dad, because he's a big old softy.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a big, big, big girl. He's just I love him to death. He's just a big like he's got the biggest heart in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And and like I'll play the natural, and he'll start crying once he sees the TriStar logo with the
Before
Pegasus.
it's even
You know,
started.
like I'm like, Dad, the movie hasn't even started.
Do, 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 do. That's the
That is it.
that is how it's
That's it. And
that is it.
my dad's just fucking. Oh god, oh god. He's gonna hit a home run at the end.
It's gonna shatter the lights.
The lights are gonna explode, and Pop's gonna look up like in tears. Oh god. Yeah, my dad's a big softie, so no, it was probably really hard on him. Uh, but he was fine. You know, there's a lot of weed in the world for him, so he's
Sure.
cool, man. He's awesome. My mom's awesome. My mom's like the tough rock. Like
Mhm.
you can't get blood out of that stone. She's just
You gotta have the yin and the yang.
she is just
Hmm.
don't fuck with Terry. She will end you.
I love it.
I'm terrified of her.
Well, thank you so much for coming on this show. Um, where can everyone find you?
Please, by all means, find me on Twitter at Decker6. It's literally at Decker, Decker, the number six. YouTube channel, Anti Hero Baseball. Please check out my films, see if you like them, see if you hate them. Comment, tell me I'm an awful person, tell me I'm a great person. I don't really care. Just say things. Um, that's pretty much it. Check me
Cool.
out on occasional Screen Junkies appearances. Root for the Brewers because I'm on the Brewers now. So let's go Brewers, man.
Yes.
Brew Crew.
I also want to say rest in peace, Mary Tyler Moore. I guess that just
What?
happened. She's 90,
No.
passed at 90.
Oh,
80? Passed at 80. Sorry about that.
oh man, I love Mary Tyler Moore. That's a somber way to end this.
I know. Sad.
Also, rest in peace, Giordano Ventura. Who played with him last year. He died
Oh
tragically in
no.
a car accident. I'm heartbroken by it. Everyone in baseball is. Hope him and his family are well, and I hope the Royals organization is well too.
All right. Thank you all for joining us. Sorry to end it on a somber note there. But we will see you on our next session of film therapy. So bye. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye. 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 Bye.
Hate it.
Bye. 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 Bye.